What is up, everyone? This is Phonics, and welcome back. This is the second video on my channel. I'm going to stop telling you what video it is. But in my first video, I did a play-by-play as Chonga solo. I'm a solo carry main, so I thought I'd do a carry-based video for my second video. Now, with the mid-season patch, there's been a lot of changes to physical pen items, which is a big deal for hunters, and there's a lot more flexibility and versatility in hunter builds. Today I'm going to show you 4 builds, 3 of which are for different types of hunters, and 1 is for my favorite hunter, AMC. The first build I'm going to show you is going to be a crit build and I'm going Jingwei here because she's your typical crit hunter. And some things have changed, some things haven't. So I'll say this first and foremost, this is not what will be meta. I'm not saying, oh, I've cracked the code. This is just stuff that is good, that is solid, that can get you through rank games and stuff if you have no idea how to build ADC or if you're kind of lost with all the new changes. So, we'll start with crit because that's what everyone likes to go, even though I prefer like playing into the matchup. So, of course, you start your Hunter's Blessing, your Spike Gauntlet, your Healing Potion, Mana Potion. You're going to rush Ninja Tabis after the stacking item unless you get Massive in lane. If you get Massive in lane, go ahead and buy your stacking item, but it's 800. It's about the same cost, but you have to stack this, while this is going to give you similar power, but 25% attack speed, 100 mana, and more importantly, the 18% movement speed. I always prefer boots over the stacking item unless I get like 4 kills in lane and I'm just huge. So you'll go Ninja Tabi. I go Ninja Tabi on her just because you're not getting attack speed from Rage or Fail Not in this build, so the attack speed from the boots is nice before you build one of these items at the end here, and I'll explain these items at the end. Then you go into your stacking item Devo Gauntlets. By going that, you're getting Lifesteal built in. You don't need to build any other Lifesteal depending on the matchup. Again, I will get to that in a second. Then you'll go Rage. Rage is going to get you a 3% crit chance in addition to the base 30 for every stack you get, which you get for kills and assists. So Rage is going to give you 45% crit chance plus your 2 passive. If you read her 2 here, Explosive Bolts. Okay, it's not going to tell me what it does. Basically, you get an AoE auto, and as you level it up, it increases your crit chance. So you're going to have a bunch of crit. You really, honestly, maybe don't even need these. There's another option I forgot to put here, and I'll explain it here in a second. Then you go Atalanta's Bow. I think Atalanta's Bow is like the new item in Executioner slot. Executioner now is down to 21% reduced protections. So 7% reduces your target's physical protections by 7% for 3 seconds. So 21% total. This is a flat 20% physical pen. Executioner is not out of the meta by any means. It's just got a different role now, and I'll explain that. Atalanta's Bow gives you a flat 20. It gives you 30% attack speed, 25 physical power. I think Atalanta's Bow is a great bridge item. I may be wrong. I may find out that I'm wrong. I just think that early in the build, the chance that you miss an auto or something and don't have 20% immediately when Xe gives you 21 if you hit 3 autos, I think that puts Atalanta's Bow in a place where it is now that pen item that you would go after Rage. Second, or your next item, so you would have Boots, Devos, Rage. That's half your core build. Then you go into Atalanta's Bow. Then you'll build one of these 2 stars. You'll either build Poison Star or Wind Demon, depending on the matchup. Wind Demon is going to give you 10% physical pen, attack speed, and movement speed if you get a crit. And Poison Star is going to weaken your enemy. So if you're thinking you want more pen into the matchup, you want more aggressiveness, I think Wind Demon is the play. But if you're looking to help your team a little more with your AoE crits, you can weaken enemies and slow them with Poison Star. I think Wind Demon is pretty much going to be the default choice, but Poison Star is still a good option just depending on, like, even if you're playing from behind, this item can kind of maybe balance out that. As long as you're not massively behind, this item might be able to turn the tables. Fail Not, I think, is back in for crit builds. Even it's supposed to be this ability-based item to help ability-based characters build crit, but I think it's still going to be relevant for characters like Jingwei, just because it gives you 45 power, 20% crit chance. So just between these 2 items, you have 65% crit. Throw in this item, let's just say Wind Demon, because that's what most people will build. So this is 65, this is 80, And then if you proc your passive, that's let's see, that is... Oh, never mind. The passive doesn't give crit anymore. Sorry. It gives movement speed and attack speed. But you get another 10% pen. So you'll have 40% pen from this, and this on top of 20% cooldown, so you're safer, and you hit your abilities more often. So I think this is the best 6-item, including boots, build for crit carries. Ninja Tabi, Devo Gauntlets, Rage, Atalanta's Bow, Wind Demon, Fail Not, Poison Stars, Flex option. The alternative option for this would be not going Poison Star or Wind Demon and putting an Executioner here. And the reason that's an alternative option is because... Wait, that's weird. It's not... Anyway, it's not adding the stuff up here, like the power and stuff. The reason that's an alternative option is because the max cap for percent pen is... The builder's not working, even though it just was. It's 40%. So you get that between Fail Not, or you almost hit that between Fail Not and Atalanta's Bow. So, what you can do is, in addition to... You can... Okay. It's hard to explain, but you can get up to 80% physical penetration on a single target with ADCs right now. Atalanta's Bow gives you 20, and I think that's going to be the most common pen item you get. Fail Not gives you 10. Berserker Shield gives you 10. Okay? So, let's say you have all those built. That's 40%. That's your 40% crit, or pen. Executioner allows you to quote-unquote overcap that, because Executioner does not give you percent pen. Executioner reduces the enemy's protections by... Why is this not... The builder's being wonky right now. So anyway, Executioner reduces the target's penetration or protections by a percentage. So it's not stacking with your pen. So even though this will be capped out, your percent penetration, Executioner is reducing the target's pen. It's not giving you penetration. So by doing that, Executioner allows you to hit 61% penetration on a single target that you've autoed 3 times. So that's why I don't think Executioner is out of the meta by any means, but I don't think it is this item anymore, this bridge item. So, with that said, you could also not pick up the Fail not pick up the Berserkers. You get 20 from Atalanta's. You get 20 from Titan's Bane. You get 21 from Executioners, and then if you hit an ability, that one ability, it's just only one ability, so this is more for ability-based carries. One ability will overcap your physical pen. Let's see if Titan's Bane... by 20%. I believe that's how it works, because that's how Obshard works. Let's see... Okay, oh, I can't, because I can't look at all items on this character. I forgot that you can't do that on God Builder. But I think that's how it works. It might not, and you might be capped at 61, but that's still 61. That's over half protections gone from a tanky target. Even in a crit build, you can get to, what, 51? 41. Or no? Yeah, 51, sorry. 51. So I think Executioner still has a place. This may be the default crit build on Jingwei specifically, because your 2 means you don't need the Wind Demon and Poison Star, but Wind Demon still gives pen too. So that's the build. You drop boots, and then these are your options for what you would drop boots for. Aussie gives you more lifesteal if you're going into like a Kuzenbo or something like that. Even a Geb to just help sustain more. Deathbringer, I don't think is a good item, but people still like to build it. It gives you more crit chance and increases the damage of your crit. Shadow Steel Shuriken's the new anti-heal item. On crit characters, you want to build this over Toxic Blade. Berserker Shield is now very viable as a carry item. It's 40% power, 30% protections, 20% attack speed, 10% pen, and if you drop below 40 HP, you become Berserk for 5 seconds. So this works really well actually with like Aussie or even Devos, because as soon as you hit 40, you just can lifesteal back up, but you're still getting the 20 power, 20 attack speed. And then Wind Demon if you don't have it built here. So you could sell boots and get XC if you go Wind Demon, or you can sell boots and get Wind Demon if you went XC. That's the crit build. So I think it's pretty straightforward. I think it's good. Next, we're going to look at a non-crit auto attack based build, so like kin size build. I'll call it a kins build from here on out. This I don't think this is even necessary anymore, but some people just don't want to go crit. I think crit at this point with all the pen is still just going to be the way to go, which is annoying, but that's how it is. This build just completely is centered around just shredding tanks completely. With crit, you might not do it as effectively. This is centered around just, okay, if they build a lot of HP, even if they have protections and you're ignoring 60%, they still have 3,500 HP. Well, I have kin size. So, it's a Hunter's Blessing, Spike Gauntlet, Health Pot, Mana Pot. It depends on your god, but most of the time I would say go Warrior Tabi now, because you're going to have a lot of attack speed in the build anyway. Devourer's Gauntlet. It's the builder's working on this character. Devourer's Gauntlet for the lifesteal, Atalanta's Bow for the flat 20 pen, and its passive is still really good, and it's still giving you 30 attack speed. Executioner early, because now you are getting 41% with Executioner, and you're an on-hit character, so you're going to be, trying to get on hits, and this still gives you a lot of pen early on, so tanks aren't going to like that, and it's a lot of power, and you're already almost at attack speed cap. Sorry, you're at 1.8, and you have Apollo's passive if you're playing Apollo specifically, or like Artemis or something like that. Then you're going to throw a kin size on, because you have the pen, but now you have to deal with health. Kin size is going to let you do up to 5% of the target's max health per auto attack. Then you go Titan's Bane. Titan's Bane is just going to max out, take you from 20 physical percent pen up to 40, and it's going to let you overcap, if that's how it works, with one ability every 10 seconds. So this is all about tank busting. Some other items that you would sell boots. These are the items I would say you can sell boots for. Berserker Shield and Bloodforge are the two best options for this type of build. Bloodforge for power, Berserker Shield for survivability. But Berserker Shield's going to overcap your pen, so just keep that in mind. What you could also do is, instead of building like Titan's Bane here, you could build Toxic Blade if you need it, or you could build Toxic Blade anywhere after Atalanta's Bow and be fine, and then sell boots for Titan's Bane. So if you need the anti-heal, which a lot of the time you will. So in the end, I think these 6 items are mostly what this build will end up looking like. Keep that in mind. So next we are going to go with your ability-based build. I did it on Neath. All these builds I've used, all of these builds are builds I've done well with. So just keep that in mind. I'm not just talking out of my ass here. I've played with them, I've used them. And again, I emphasize that these builds are not the end-all be-all. These are just builds that work now and are solid and okay and good. They may not be the meta or the best, but Hunter's Blessing, Morning Star, Healing Potion, Mana Potion, or 2 of them. This is your ability-based build. Keep that in mind. So you're looking to deal damage with abilities. You'll still be able to auto, but c'est la vie. Warrior Tabi, Transcendence. That's standard fare. You used to go Ninja Tabi here, but with the mana added to Warrior Tabi, I think it's fine. It's what you want to go. You're going to go Aussie into Atalanta's Bow. That gives you your attack speed. Aussie gives you your lifesteal attack speed. Atalanta's Bow gives you 20% physical pen and 30% attack speed. That's amazing, because as an ability-based hunter, you don't have to sacrifice. On hit as much. You still do, but on hit as much with these first 4 items, because Atalanta's Bow is just a great item in general. I prefer Jotun's Wrath, which may sound like, oh my gosh, they're insane. What the heck? But that gives you 30% CDR, and you're an ability-based character, so you want as much CDR as possible. But it gives you 30% CDR, and it gives you more mana, and it gives you some flat pen and power. So it's just a nice thing to have. And with this build, you would have 20%. Up to this point, you would have 20% physical pen, and you would still have 25 flat pen. I finished the build with Titan's Bane. Again, it maxes out your percent pen, but it also lets you overcap it every 10 seconds. And with characters like Neath and stuff, where you're just wanting to spam abilities, I think it's fantastic. Then you would sell boots, and I personally, if the other team has no Aphrodite or things to worry about anti-heal, I'd pick up Executioner, your tank shred, your tower shred. Like, you just become a all facet god. You're not just ability based. You can stay ability based, but um, another item, if you want to just, if you think your auto attacks just aren't worth it, is Bloodforge. Bloodforge is always, just because it has 75 power, it's insane. So Bloodforge, if you just want to stay pure ability based. But if you want to mix it in, like, so this is 239 power with Bloodforge, you go up to 279. Your autos do 345 with this build. This does 305, but you're getting 21% more pen, so keep that in mind. This is more auto-based. This is more ability-based. If the other team has anti-heal and you want to be more ability-based, go Brawlers. If you want to be more auto-based, go Toxic Blade. Toxic Blade's still fine in this build, and it gives you more attack speed as well. So yeah, so just keep that in mind that it's with ability-based, it's pretty straightforward. You could even... let's see. No, Berserkers isn't the item. What? Hold on. Am I forgetting an item? I'm just making sure I'm not forgetting something. I mean, no. I was gonna suggest you could go new Glad Shield, but I mean, and I don't think it's worth it. But you could. If you sell boots, you could go Glad Shield, get some physical protections, and when the target's low, you can kind of burst them better. But in the end, this is what I usually end up building, unless they have anti-heal, and then this is what I usually end up building. I think Toxic Blade's still really good. So Trans, Atalantas, Aussie, Jotuns, Titans, and Toxic Blade for boots. So those are 3 builds with some options you can mess around with. Here's the game that I went with Neath here. I went Xe early. I didn't like it as much early. I think Atalantis would have been better than, but I was kind of just so far ahead that I wasn't worried about getting my Aussie on early, I guess is the, well, actually, no, sorry. No, I went Atalantas over Aussie. This would have been Hunters, Trans, Boots, Atalantas, Aussie, Jotuns, Sell Hunters for Titans, and Boots for Xe. I went Atalantis because I was I was ahead and I didn't need to worry about sustaining life stealing, so I delayed my Aussie. But normally you'd go Aussie Atalantas. My last thing, AMC is my favorite hunter. Right now I have like a 62% win rate on him. I always have like odd builds. That's not actually an odd build. Let's see. This was a bad game because I was getting ganked a lot. And I went crit. I went crit again in this game. I'm trying to find to show off my odd build. It's not working. It's mostly an odd start. I'll explain it like that, I guess. So let me get into it. You start Warrior's Blessing with Morning Star. Warrior's Blessing now gives you 25% pen at max stacks. And it's easy to stack, especially in duo lane. And you're doing 25% true damage. You're stealing 25% health, and you restore mana with it. It's just a very good sustain item. Makes you tanky. And AMC's #1 issue is he is very gankable and very vulnerable. He's very easy to kill. So if you're interested in playing AMC, I highly recommend this build. And I'll explain how it's changed and some options you have in the build. Then you'll go Warrior Tabi. You do not need attack speed as badly on AMC as some other characters because his hives offer him a permanent attack speed boost, as well as movement speed. So if you max your 2, and then I max my hive because it gives me movement speed and attack speed and a permanent like low heal. It's like 5. At max rank, it's like 8 health per second or something. It's not anything crazy, but it is helpful in sustaining in lane and stuff like that. So the build used to be Talaria boots for the movement speed. In addition to my hive, like I barely missed waves. It was easy to kite people. I just was hard to hit in general. But they nerfed it and they buffed Warrior Tabi, so I think Warrior Tabi just edges out Talaria. So I go Warrior Tabi now. Go Transcendence. I go Aussie, Atalantis Bow, Toxic Blade, Titan's Vein. So this is a pretty straightforward build, but the only unique parts now, it used to be a little more weird because I would go like Black Thornhammer, and it would work. It's just they nerfed Black Thornhammer, they nerfed Talaria Boots, they nerfed a lot of the items that I used to go. Warrior's Blessing and Toxic Blade. Toxic Blade, I think, is a core item on him because it gives you more movement speed, it gives you flat pen, and it gives you health. Toxic Blade, and it lets you trade into hunters that are building Devos way better because it's applying 40% anti-heal. So it's more relevant now because now I'm max physical pen in this build with an additional 30 flat pen. So I am basically just doing true damage to carries with this build. So at level 20, I have 72 physical protections. I believe percent pen's taken off first, so that's 40% reduced. So we'll just, this is bad math. We'll say we get him down to like 41% pen or aren't protections if you're facing another AMC, and then that reduces it by another 30. So they have like 12 protections that they're mitigating your damage with. And so you just are absolutely shredding them and reducing their sustain, and just every so often you hit them with 60% pen reduction with your Titan's Bane, with your Hives or your 2 or your ult. It's just, he's a really strong duelist in lane, and he can translate to team fights as long as he's not getting spam ganked. And this build, this early build, helps you survive those spam ganks. And Toxic Blade late helps you survive in team fights a little better because you get health and you're quicker. Items I have not experimented with Berserker Shield that much yet. This is an item that is going to help you survive. It's got all the stats AMC would want besides movement speed. It gives you 10% pen, 30% physical protections, 20% attack speed, and if I get low, it makes me go berserk. I don't think it's necessarily like a must build on him, but it's never going to be a bad option for AMC if you're looking for survivability. Executioner, these are all also items you could build in this slot when you sell boots. In the end, I will usually end up building Executioner or Bloodforge, depending on what it's like in front of me. I'll probably build Bloodforge usually, just because with my passive, or with my Hive passive, I'm gonna have the attack speed anyway, and I'm already at 40% overcapping every so often. Tanks are still getting bought by me. So this is just an AMC build you can go. Just keep in mind Warrior's Blessing and Toxic Blade when you're playing him, to help survivability. Now, again, I want to say this at the end of the video. These are not builds that are, I'm telling you, you have to build these builds. These builds are totally insane, broken. I'm not saying that. These are builds that if you are unsure of what you want to do, if you're unsure of why you're building stuff, why items are good, I'm giving you some explanation. And I'm trying to do it as quickly as possible, so if you boot up Google right before a match you're playing carry, you somehow find this video, you understand why you're building it, what you're building. These are good baselines. It will change as pros and stuff, min-max and all that, and I hope I'm as close as possible to the correct builds. I don't expect to be. I've seen some pros not even going stacking. They're just foregoing Devos and Trans and going into Berserkers early, or they're going into, which I think most of that's a meme just to try out the new item, but some of them are going Atalantis first. I don't know. I don't think any of that's going to be the play. I think we're sticking with the stacking items going forward, and then everything after that's different. I will advocate that Atalantis Bow, I think, is the best early game pen item, but Executioner is not out of the meta. I think it has its place depending on how you build it. So thank you for watching. I hope this helped. Again, I'm not saying this is the end-all be-all. I want to emphasize that because I'm sure some people are like, oh, what about this and that? And you may be right. So I encourage discussion in the comments, feedback in the comments, and I will see you all in the next one.